Russ and Mike. Oh, you don't have
Hey,
Wi-Fi.
Russ and Michael, very nice to see you. I would like to see more of you. Maybe you could get on SpongeBob. Okay, we're moving.
What's a video? Hi.
Tap, tap,
Oh, okay.
All right. Tap him out, Jeff. Tap him out. My dad's cousin was a hockey player in the NHL, and when he went to the NHL, and this was in Edmonton, they would come back for sports nights and talks and everything. He would bring all these famous hockey players to our house for dinner. Tim Horton, Gordie Howe,
Donuts.
Bobby Bond,
Did you talk to Tim?
Terry Sawchuk,
Donut eating
Johnny Bauer, these really great hockey players that goalies that didn't wear masks. Terry Sawchuk had 350 stitches on his face. 350. He had scars everywhere from the puck, you know. Really interesting fellow. It was neat. Of course, when I was, all the kids in the block just stood outside the door when we were having dinner. Tim Horton and Gordie Howe. Let's go and have some coffee and a sweet gooey bun from the organic bread. $8 a loaf. Boaty. Boaty is the boat's name. It's a happy painting. I'm happy in my boat. Next one. There's a shadow there. Is that you?
Yeah, that looks good. So what about, can you explain that again? Like,
The walrus and from Alice in Wonderland. And the oysters with the shoes. And me with my accordion. And shoes, socks and sandals. And I also wear socks and Crocs. My children says, crazy, but poop on them. Last night's fish. That's not, don't get too close on that because I don't like it very much. It's not finished. Okay. This is a love story. A love story. I love Paris every moment.
is that,
This is the Nouvelle Sorbonne. It's a wonderful educational system where this beautiful girl went and proclaimed her intelligence with a PhD. This man, what is he thinking? I think a happy man. I think a happy man. This is a bigger one. This is for a wonderful girl who plays and teaches mahjong, and one of my most enjoyable paintings of the last 3 months. This is my favorite painting. It's dinner I made for a crazy linguist. And you can see over here her study. Get over. type over, skip over. And she's a genius. And the most beautiful girl I've ever met. Dinner for her was a pleasure to make. In the wonderful south of France with a fresh trout out of the back of a truck. Out of the back of a truck. And they sucked the guts out with a vacuum cleaner. What a brilliant idea. Brilliant idea. Some of them are pretty weird. That one's not so interesting. Or maybe it is. But this is the one I want to show you. These are the muses.
Oh, right, I remember.
Dancing.
Were these out in the trees too, Tim?
Hmm?
These were out in the trees?
Yeah.
And when did you do this one?
Maybe 2003 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 1. Why haven't I written it down? Usually I write it down. Early in the 2000s. Aren't they beautiful?
Yes.
These are the 9 muses, and they're girls. This represents the lunar cycles of women, and this is the temple of Apollo. Where's the stream? There's a river of life there, or whatever it is. And this is the Lord taking care of me, giving me the wonderful gift of the accordion. Perhaps I should play a tune. These are pretty new. 2010. Oh, here's one that you might like. It's fish. I did a big show in a gallery in Westminster, and the theme was fish. I did it with another artist who was a potter, and she made fish pottery and designs and very lovely stuff. I made 20 or so paintings and hung them. I sold a few. The little ones, some of the salmons. This is upside down. Ooh, there's a snail. I like these. I like those. That's kind of confusing, but it's a picture of someone I know who went to Korea. And this is the things of Korea. The cormorants that catch fish, the rubber band around their neck. This is Willie's dream. I don't really... It was an experiment, I think.
Is that here?
When you're in love, you paint pictures of love. No, that was in Australia. That one's from Australia. This one also is from Australia. A swimming hole. The water was so low. It was a little different than this, but I wanted to work with a perspective, 3-point perspective. So that was that kind of stuff. This is Rob Freeman playing his saxophone. That's kind of nice. But this one is the one I wanted to show you. This is Robert Finley. He's one of my favorite guitar players. I believe he's in Shenzhen now, running a school of some sort. And I think he's got gray hair now. This is a poem by Muhammad Ali, which I painted for the opening of an art show I had in Vancouver. And this was outside art show, and I had signed it, signed the front of the gallery, signed my name like I was signing a painting. So the poem by Muhammad Ali is the shortest in the world. Actually, there was a shorter poem. It was called Fleas. May I read it to you?
Sure.
Fleas. Adam had 'em. And Muhammad Ali was told that story, and he says, "Oh, I've got a shorter poem than that. Me. Wee!" And so that's what this is, because I was feeling pretty good about having a show there.
So it is Muhammad Ali's poem.
This, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I could put other things. Look at me. I wanted people to come in.
Uh-huh.
So I love Muhammad Ali. I think he was a great American. No, I won't say that. He's a great man. The Chinese had launched a satellite in 2003, and I painted this picture. I forget the name of the rocket. And it's just weirdness.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's to represent Ollie. He's the dragon. And locked in I can't remember what it was. When he came to Canada here, he lived with his uncle. I think that was it. No, you think it's important to sell the paintings. Well, I don't care, because I won't chase after the almighty dollar. And as soon as you do, then you start thinking about this painting is worth this much money. Instead of saying this painting is worth a smile for that little girl who I painted, something like that. So I don't care about money now. I get a pension. I don't need it. How much, Tolstoy, you read Tolstoy, how much land does a man need? Poof, that's your answer. The government in this story issues anybody, you can have as much property as you can walk around in a day. You can have it. We're giving up this property so you can have it. So the man starts walking, and he walks really fast because he wants. The sun is noon. He doesn't stop for lunch. He keeps on walking. Keeps on walking. He says, if I run, I might be able to get a little bit more. It's 4 o'clock. The sun is starting to set. He runs and runs and runs. He gets to the finish line just as the sun set. He's got like 1,000 acres he's walked around, and he dies. How much land does a man need? 6 feet deep, 3 feet wide. So you start running to get that extra acreage. Doesn't matter. You're going to be dead. So who gives a hoot? I don't give a hoot for money. Okay, this one I like very much as well. There's a joke to it, but I can't remember what it is. It's the mustard in the fridge. Dijon. I can't remember the joke. Ars longa, vita brevis. Isn't that great? That was our fridge in Westminster, me and Ollie's. Mm-hmm. It never had anything but mustard, I guess that's... Okay, there's some good ones in here. All right, that's just furniture. But here's Herbert with the chair from the dump with the broken rocker. If it went too far, it'd fall over sideways. That's my friend Herbert. He is a dope grower. And in the background, you see the molecular structure of cannabinoids. See? CBHO 967, whatever it is. I don't know too much about that. I like to paint pictures of useful objects. There's the mop and pail on the BC ferries. Duke Ellington, In My Solitude. In my solitude, you something and other, you something and something and something and something and something and something. So that's, if you listen to him playing the piano, solo piano, In My Solitude, this makes a lot of sense. Ba-da-da-da-da. Ah, this is the I don't know what the name. It's a famous Korean drum troupe, and they performed at some kind of a festival in Vancouver at the Sun Yat-sen Garden, which is a little piece of China in the middle of Vancouver. I had to paint a picture of one of them who seemed orgasmic when in her work, but I think it was because she was working so hard. That's one of my favorites. Well, this one has already been shown on the intraweb. This is Herbert Willie and me and Ross Regbigliati playing golf in this Squamish golf course, and you can see he's such a good golfer. He hits the water and bounces along on the water right up to the hole. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But there's me still trying to get over there. I liked using the palette of the cubists, but I didn't have olive green. I had to use chromium green. It was black, white, raw sienna, and olive green. Now these are from Hong Kong. Oh, this one is the Lemon Sisters. Get it? Now here's a nice painting of me playing with my daughter and her friend. A nightclub in Vancouver was a coffee restaurant. We had quite a good time. Now here, my favorite, The Joy of Banking. It's even more modern now because this was just paper. Roman coin. The Joy of Banking. This fancy phone, I won't turn it on any more than I do the other one. If I want to talk to somebody, I'll turn it on. There, I forgot my phone. Now I feel like an idiot in the modern world. People are going to say, hey, where's your phone, Tim? I forgot it. You're an idiot in the modern world. Give me a letter in a newspaper. Stamp. Real. You know, tears and blood and snot and stuff on the paper. Can't get that in the iPad. Well, mine is, because that's how I grip and cry when I'm watching the YouTube. It's too much stress. Too much stress. Forgot my phone. Gosh. Don't give me any of that modern stuff. Telegraph was good enough for Jesus. My friend Jamie Alson and got married to Holly, a wonderful girl who can do anything. And her wedding was at a ranch because there's the horse. And these are her aunts and uncles, and they sang, I'll be loving you always. And they sang sunrise, sunset. And he had a Wurlitzer, and he played What I Say. And the guy, he's a famous guy. He wrote the jingle for A&W. He wrote the jingle for A&W, and it's a rich man for the rest of his life. He has a Wurlitzer, for crying out loud. You know how hard it is to get one of those? Okay, that's nice, isn't it? See those old people? Oh, well, this is Beijing, this one. Of course, this was in 1998, and they were just opening up. This is a restaurant that the Beijing people would come and sit for a long, long time with just a couple of drinks and throw their garbage on the ground. At the restaurants, coffee was spelt wrong. So this was a kind of a bar club near where I lived, and the guy was a violin player and retired army fellow, and he had this Great thing. I guess he had connections because the first Lamborghini in China drove up to this. See, I don't like that. That's not so good. More fish, he said. Don't ask me what that means. Cherry blossoms and fish. It's really great, though. My portrait of Olivia as a baby. I gave her baths in a pail, a bucket. Okay, I think I told you a story about the lighthouse guys that had the problem with the booze when they got retired, and the community of Lescity took care of them. This is a picture of that. John, he was 98 then, with his pipe and pot that the locals weaned him off the booze with. His wife had died, and he lived here all by himself, and everybody in the community took care of him, basically. So every day somebody went, check him, made him dinner. And on Thursdays, Merrick would read him a story. And when I was visiting, I went with him and played some tunes on the accordion. And the story was about pygmies. He really enjoyed it because when they're talking about hunting, he was an old man, he had some experiences. You could see him enjoying it, but he couldn't talk. He couldn't talk. This is a pretty noisy bird picture. I'll tell you that much. But it was the first one that I did, and I've done many of this happy birds, singing happy birds. So these are the musicians from early Hong Kong time, 1992 or so. 95. This was for the show I had in Hong Kong. Sitting on top of the world, rolling along, singing a song. I got the blues in the world,